It's about 7:30 in the morning, Georgia Zone 8A. Weather's kind of all over the place. This morning I think we're like maybe down to 45 degrees. So we're still teetering on the edge of spring, but I did a video last week on my Dollar Tree haul and I had these yogurt cups in it. Now I'm not even gonna tell you no lie, my email has absolutely been blowing up with how do you stop these roly-polies? How do you stop the slugs? And how do you stop the earwigs? What I'm going to show you with this little Dollar Tree item that we have here, a little turbinado sugar and some yeast, how we're going to combat these insects for the season. Now this is one of my beds with my fava beans. Right now we're having no insect pressure over here. And they're coming up absolutely amazing. I'm loving the way they're looking. Already have flowers on them. This is one of the first things that's going to come up in your garden and start giving you those flowers, which are great for pollinators. And those are my fava beans there. And over here you can see the yarrow starting to blossom. Love the beautiful white yarrow taking over the bed up front. There's some elephant garlic right here. Still have some yellow mustards, look like they're about to go to seed, so we're gonna see what we can do with that. Over here, we're doing pretty good with the insect pressure, because right now, those are some bok choy coming up. And these are some volunteer peppers right here. I have no idea what they are, but believe me, they will be put to use. We got our hashiko onions right here. While they deter a lot of insects, believe it or not, the roly-polies actually love onions. So this is one of the ways I use these as a trap crop. I'm not too concerned with it as long as they're not on my good plants. So down here you have some more volunteers. But once again, we're gonna use those peppers all over the garden. This is how I like to start my season. Now right here we have some Marigolds tomatoes and they're coming up pretty good, and you'll see I have them bedded with some French marigolds. And the reason why I have those French marigolds down there is they have a compound that releases from the roots called alpha-terthienyl. Now the alpha-terthienyl is a deterrent for root knot nematodes, and of course you know our root knot nematodes love to get at our tomato plants. So that's what we're doing for pest pressure on the tomatoes. So now we go over here to this bed here. We have one of our yogurt cups down there. Now this is why we brought those yogurt cups over to this area, because you also see one of my little small seedlings down there, and that's an Asian eggplant. A little bit of damage on the edges of the leaves. Now that is done by my roly-polies. Now the roly-polies absolutely love eggplants. Now if you've been watching the channel long enough, you'll know that I'm a proponent of the roly-polies and letting them go in as natural composters in the garden. But in this case, it's too early in the season. It's not enough food for them. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna go after your plants. So what we're gonna end up doing is we gotta put the brakes on the roly-polies, because what we don't want them doing is destroying our seedlings while they're at their most vulnerable state. These little yogurt cups are $1.25 at the Dollar Tree from our Dollar Tree haul last week. It's gonna be a game changer for us when it comes to the earwigs, the roly-polies, and even slugs. The garden is getting off to an absolutely great start this year. We got some more of our peppers over here already coming up, along with some more of our marigolds. Some more of our pest protection would be our yarrow. The yarrow attracts the ladybugs, and of course the ladybugs love the aphids. So that's something that you guys want to add to your garden. And over here, this is something that you're not going to see too often in too many garden beds. And you can see the flowers are just not starting to form. And these are Pyrethrum Daisies. Now, I did not say pyrethroids, I said pyrethrums. Pyrethroids are the synthetic versions of what the natural pyrethrums are. Things like the leaf-footed bug. This is the Pyrethrum Daisy right here. Now, if you want to start talking about bringing out the big guns, that's when you start talking about the pyrethrums. I'm just giving you a real close-up look at that. Now, what it is, these flowers, you will make a tea out of those. The Pyrethrum Daisies is unique in that it doesn't really take to the UV rays, so as the sunlight hits it, it disappears. So the best time to spray the Pyrethrum Daisies is going to be late evenings in your garden when your good pollinators are in for the evening. Now with the Pyrethrum Daisies, there is nothing that it won't knock down in the garden, and that includes our beneficials. So we have to be very respectful and mindful when we're spraying the Pyrethrum Daisies. Now right here we have our Ozark Everbearing strawberries, and they're looking amazing right now. And one of the reasons why I built this planter like this is to deter the slugs. As you can see, we even have some strawberries coming in right there. Beautiful flowers starting to come in. So as the garden starts to wake up, so do the slugs, the earwigs and the roly-polies. But this little cup right here, this little yogurt cup, it's gonna change the game. Let's go down here and we're gonna check our first one here. Like I say, you don't even have to have the top screwed on real good because that's just to get the rain to repel off of it. See what this looks like. This thing is full. The roly-polies are biologically tuned to find moisture and sense fungi, which is what we've created when we do the fermentation of our yeast with our sugar and our warm water. Now there's nothing like seeing firsthand results. I'm gonna take our strainer there. I'm gonna pour this in here and we're gonna reuse this liquid. Look at that. Look at that. Pour all of that in there. That's a whole population of roly-polies there. 3 days, literally cleared the whole bed out. All of that is roly-polies. Now, this is perfect compost material, or simply throw them back in the garden. You see our little fill hole right there? We're gonna show you how we just put that in. When it's as close to the soil line as possible, push those down, and you're just gonna push your mulch up to it. And this works if I had slugs in this bed as well. That's hundreds of roly-polies in 3 days. It's that simple. Pour that back in there. So rather than using harsh chemicals around the garden, we're just using the insects' natural instincts in order to trap them. The simplest way in the world to control roly-polies. So here are some of the things that I use to create this little mixture. Some turbinado sugar. You don't have to use turbinado sugar. You can use white sugar, you can use molasses, whatever it is that you have on hand, you can use. Baking yeast, whatever yeast you choose to use, that's on you. Yeast. Our little Dollar Tree yogurt cups. Something to measure with. 1 tablespoon of our yeast and 1 tablespoon of our sugar. And then we're gonna add some warm water up to the fill line here. And then if you have something like a soldering iron, it's gonna be perfect for what we're doing. So we're gonna start this thing on, we're gonna make it real simple. This is all we're focused on right here. And we're just gonna start our 4 spots first. 1, we go on the opposite side. 2, 3. It's that simple, people. You don't want to be smelling this stuff either. So get yourself in the opposite direction of the wind, or maybe even set up a fan or something blowing in the opposite direction. And then what I like to do, see if I can get the camera up here, and then I basically just walk it sideways, both directions. You can make it look all pretty if you want, but you want to make it large enough to where even if you have snails in your garden, the snails are able to get in there as well. Because the beautiful part about this whole thing and using the yogurt cups is we have the little dome on the top, which keeps the rainwater out. And that's basically all you have right here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Creating a little opening for them. Chances are if you have slugs, you're gonna have snails somewhere around. It's that simple. And then we're gonna take a tablespoon of our yeast. I'm gonna add it in our cup. Our turbinado sugar. Take a tablespoon of our turbinado sugar. That's going to be the food for the yeast once it starts to wake up. And you're just going to pour that warm water up to the line here. That's all you need. Now, if you've done any baking or anything like that, you're going to know that yeast is going to rise first, and it's going to create some foam up top, and then it's going to start to shrink back down. So basically what we're doing here is triggering the ethanol fermentation. The sugar is what they use to convert those carbohydrates. The reaction that you see in the cup is the release of CO2s and alcohol vapor. And this is what attracts the slugs, the earwigs, and the roly-polies from across the garden. So we're going to put the top on it real light, not going to tighten it up, because what we want to do once we have it down into the soil, we want to just be able to twist this off. And if we want to empty out our container, we can simply just strain it off like I just showed you, and then put the content back in it, or just come up with a whole fresh batch. One bait trap is really all you need for a 32 square foot area raised bed. So we're going to put that somewhere around here. We're just going to move our mulch back. I love seeing this in the soil. This is mycelium, but the fungus that's attached to this is saprophytic fungi. And these are the heavy lifters. They're responsible for breaking down the lignins and the cellulose in the cypress mulch. It helps make the phosphorus in the bed more available to the plants. So basically they do the scavenging on the top of the soil, the harder to digest organic materials. And we have stuff like our buscular mycorrhiza, which we put down towards the roots of our plants to where they can access more nutrients and moisture in the soil that are a little deeper down. So you can see more of that mycelium right here. So like I said, we're gonna move that stuff back. And we're breaking that network up. Look at this stuff is everywhere in here. Looks beautiful. That's when you know your system is working. We're just gonna dig down in there. Make a nice little hole. Earthworms. That's something that you definitely love to see whenever you're digging into your soil. It's that good ground. We'll end up destroying a lot of our earthworms. And then we just basically sit this down level with the soil. And then put our soil back around it. We want to build this up all the way to that blue line right there. And to make it easily accessible for the slugs and all to get up in there. That's that ring going all the way around, and then we don't have to worry about any water or anything getting in there. Just turn it a couple of times, hand tighten. That way we can take it on and off. You see how that yeast is swole up in there? Looks right at home. There she is. And all you need, like I said, is one for this bed. And if you're having issues with slugs, earwigs, or either roly-polies, there is your answer right there. Now let's keep in mind that these roly-polies are not insects, they're crustaceans, which is in the shrimp and the lobster family. So when they start to break down, they add chitin into the soil. Chitin is a main source that repels root knot nematodes. So we're gonna crush these up and sprinkle them around a couple of our plants, and that's going to increase that microbial activity. They're going to come up and they're going to recycle these back into the soil, and we're once again closing the loop. So we're taking something that's been a nuisance in the garden and we're adding it back into the soil. Not only do they add calcium, but they also add a boost of nitrogen as well. So we're going to crush these up, add them back into the soil, and those same nutrients that they took away, we're going to be giving it back. Growing out the box.